Can we talk about, and I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say this, how Trump has everybody by the balls? It is something else to watch. I did not appreciate him his first term. Rubbed me the wrong way. I believed everything I heard, but oh my gosh.
Yes, Democrat new talking point. Hostile takeover. Elon Musk want to take over the government by force. I watched a Democrat leader today. He introduced a bill like they want to prevent Elon Musk from taking over the government. I don't know how this will even pass because Elon Musk is not doing that. Checking to see the corruption in you should not be a problem. Any person having an issue with Elon Musk at this time is the problem. That is what I've realized. And there is one thing I'm so excited to see.
There is widespread concern about the DOGE team's access to sensitive payment systems. Are you worried at all that that access and that tinkering of the payment systems could affect the treasuries market or cause any disruption?
Good. Well, Saleha, thank you for asking me about that because there's a lot of misinformation out there. First of all, when you say the DOGE team, these are Treasury employees. It is 2 Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read-only. They are looking. They can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvement. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year. And this is 2 employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
The letter that the Treasury Department sent earlier this week talked about how the team currently does not have access to change the system. Have they at any point this year had the ability to make changes?
Absolutely not. This is no different than you would have at a private company. And by the way, the ability to change the system sits over at the Federal Reserve. So it doesn't even lie in this building. So they could make suggestions on how to change the system, but we don't even run the system.
And if they ask for, if they request the ability to change the system, would you grant that?
No, again, they have no ability to change the system. I have no ability to grant that change. That they can make suggestions, then it would go to the Federal Reserve, and just like any large ERP system, there would be tests, there would be this, there would be that, and then the Fed will determine whether these changes are robust or not.
As the Secretary of Treasury, you also oversee the IRS. Do you know what kind of access the team has to IRS data or individual taxpayer data?
Well, I'm glad you asked that too, because look, the IRS, the privacy issue is one of the biggest issues. And over the past 4 years, we've seen a lot of leaks out of there. The IRS systems are quite poor. When I started in college in 1980, I learned the program in COBOL. I think there are 12 different systems at the IRS that still run on COBOL, but as of now, there is no engagement at the IRS.
And if they request that access, would you sign off on that request?
They haven't, so we'll take that when it comes to it. I think there is a lot to do there, but the president was elected with a big agenda, and to the extent that getting the IRS in better shape is part of that, sure. Because look, with the IRS, what am I concerned about? I am concerned about collections. I'm concerned about privacy.
The people are waking up. When you take a look at the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio has just informed USA workers that he only need 294 of them. They are, look at the number here, 14,000 people who work at the agency. The Dutch effect is really working. This is the same principle Elon Musk put in with Twitter. We saw the result. The things you function like never before. People thought X will fall when Elon Musk cut off this number of people, bringing in business into the government. It is something the Democrats have never seen. They are seeing it for the first time. making everything to be efficient is a problem to Democrats. I understand how shocked that this is taking them unaware till date. These people can't even sleep. They have the new talking point, hostile takeover of the government. That is a new talking point. I'm seeing everywhere on social media. And some of these sponsor papers are putting out articles.
Elon Musk, just half an hour ago, tweeted out that Treasury needs to stop approving certain payments. Has your staff tried to block any payments here at Treasury?
We have not, and I'm glad you asked that too. And just to put it in perspective, Elon and I are completely aligned in terms of cutting waste and increasing accountability and transparency for the American people. I believe that this DOGE program in my adult life is one of the most important audits of government or changes to government structure we have seen. That when I was in my 20s, we had the Grace Report, and there's some great suggestions that came out of that, never implemented. Under Clinton and Gore, I think it was to government efficiency or reduce government. Nothing happened. So President Trump came in, there's a big agenda, and I think that there are gigantic cost savings for the American people here. And I think it's unfortunate the way the media wants to lampoon what is going on. These are highly trained professionals. This is not some roving band going around doing things. This is methodical, and it is going to yield big savings.
That this is a cadre of criminals.
Yes, this coordinated effort to go after Elon Musk did not start today. Just during the campaign, we saw the number of lawsuits flying here and there. Oh, Elon Musk this, Elon Musk that. After the election, they changed the narrative. Oh, Elon Musk is now the president. It's not Trump. That is what we saw. They were changing the language every single day. When you take a look at articles like this, you can clearly see their tone. Oh, now is the hostile takeover of the government by Elon Musk. That is what they are using every single day. Who is this individual? We didn't elect. The billionaire is creating major upheaval as his team sweep through agency in what has been an extraordinary flexing of power by a private individual. That is according to this article from the Washington Post. When I look through why these people continue to melt down, I just want to be showing you so you can see the craziness in all this.
Take a look.
Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies, fire people, transfer them, offer them early retirement? I move that the committee subpoena Elon Musk to come before it as a witness at the earliest possible moment.
There's been a motion and second. The motion is not debatable.
I think it's outrageous that this committee will not even entertain a motion.
No, you state your...
Chairman, that's not a point of order.
Somebody
You know,
who's
I
breaking the law
agree. Point
and
of order.
dismantling our federal agencies.
been a demagogue.
and
You're
hiring
demagogue.
federal
Order.
employees
No,
and
we don't listen to
hacking
demagogues.
data.
My job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country, but it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which.
The Democratic Party have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people.
The White House press secretary did something.
Strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt.
Something that they're most concerned about is DOGE engineers with access to treasury systems. Can you clarify Do the DOGE engineers have read-only access
Yes.
in these systems? So they are not allowed to write new code?
No.
They are not, okay.
No.
USA ID has gotten a lot of attention the last couple of days with some of these bizarre things that we've been, taxpayers have been funding. Now it looks like there are a couple media outlets that have been dragged into this conversation as far as USA ID funding as well. Does the president have any comment on that?
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. Subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now.
That says it's only been 2 weeks, okay?
Oh,
so
Lord.
To start saying what people should be doing, it shouldn't be doing, but what I mean. Doesn't it have to be an all group freak out for us to get any feeling that somebody's watching what's going on?
I said this and I'll repeat myself. Any person that is still freaking out about this is corrupt. If you see clips after my videos, that is for the algorithm. You can even stop here. I will appreciate you if you share out the video. God bless you.
Now, as we're getting a chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole U.S. aid thing, where they're uncovering massive amounts of corruption. And
their hard-earned money, and they want their tax dollars to look like it's helping the country.
And also, I got to say,
don't you agree?
I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
To her.
The EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade, and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, 1.5 years is because...
This is the United States.
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
This lady is not unstopped.
Where awful things have happened. So,
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
Our authority and policy.
the city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now, you're looking
History, remember it.
as a country about and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii. Some...
And then we watch the news or talk.
No, look, I have a lot of... So please.
I was being lazy on the couch at like Friday night. Any more you would criticize.